It's Anjali Bellman with DCU, and we just screened a great movie called Great New Wonderful. And I'm here with the director, Danny Leiter.
Hello.
And the executive producer, Gary Rubin.
Hello.
And I'm going to start off actually with Danny here, because the movie, the publicity says flat out, this is a post 9/11 movie. It's not really mentioned. You don't talk about towers falling and death. What are you really going for in this movie?
Well, the movie takes place a year after 9/11, and there's a card at the beginning of the movie that says September 2002, and then there's another card in the end on the anniversary of the movie, and of the anniversary, of 9/11, the 1 year anniversary, and the movie's really about how people dealt with the aftermath of 9/11 and how the shock and just horrific event, and how that affected a lot of people in New York, and how a lot of people were in denial about it, and a lot of people just had a hard time, getting in touch with that and dealing with it. And that's what this movie taps into, is how people were kind of dealing with something, such a big event, and just in general how people deal with things that are shocking, and how they heal from that.
And New York is your home turf, right?
Yeah, I'm from New York, and I now live in LA, where we are right now. And but yes, I started making films in New York, and I grew up and was there until I came here.
Okay, and what did it mean to you to bring a story that is thought of kind of as a New York story? The 9/11 story is a New York story, but you're bringing it out to the country, maybe even the world, depending on how it goes. So, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's cool. Anytime you make a movie, you want to put it out as wide as possible, because you want people to see your movies. So, I've made other movies that take place in New York and New Jersey and other places, and so where a movie takes place, this happens to be very much dear and about New York, but it's movies are universal, so they might play better in some places than others, but in general, if something's a good movie, people will find it.
Now, Gary, you're in charge of distribution on this. How's it going in New York?
The film is actually still playing in New York, and it's playing this weekend in a top calendar art house in Huntington, Long Island. This is after 4 weeks of playing in Manhattan, which is pretty good for an independent film these days. So the film did very nicely there, and we're more concerned actually at this point with rolling it out, around the country, which we're in the middle of doing.
Okay, and I know it was mentioned earlier that September 12th is the DVD domestic release date.
That's right.
I'm going to get back to the release date in a second, but I want to talk about the DVD. There's a slightly different format than the movie we just screened, which is theatrical.
Yeah, it's a DVD release, and so it will be the same movie you just saw. But we have a number of additional elements to it. We have commentary with me and Sam Catlin, the writer. We have a couple of the main thing that we did on the DVD, which I think is a really cool thing that I have yet to see on any other DVD, is this movie is 5 separate stories, all intercut. And what we did was we have each story by themselves. So if you want to just choose to watch one of those stories, like the Maggie Gyllenhaal story, or the Nasiruddin story, or the any of the other stories, Tony Shalhoub, Jim Gaffigan, or Olympia Dukakis, you could choose to just watch that story consecutively. They're each like 15 to 20 minutes. So along with the movie, you get that and the commentary, and we have a couple other little things. We have some montages of New York and stills from the movie too.
Okay, great. Now, we know that independent films generally, they're kind of bi-coastal. You think LA, you think San Francisco, you think New York. What are you doing for the heartland, for the rest of the country?
Well, actually, it's opening in Chicago on the 18th of this month. It's opening in Dallas on the 25th. Also, I think on the 25th in Minneapolis. There's more. There's a lot more. It's definitely got dates in the Midwest, and I think we'll have more even by next week. And also in the Rocky Mountain region as well. So this is a national movie. It's just art houses in the big cities, and across the country. Instead of being 2,000 screens, we're 50 screens. But nevertheless, we've gotten quite a bit of attention. AOL Movie Phone. This was amazing. You know, I don't know if you know, they pick 11 movies every weekend that they feature or they recommend. 7 are theatricals, 4 are DVDs. The first 3 weeks we were open. We were only in New York and Boston and Washington. We were one of the top 7 films in the country. They love the film so much. To this day, if you type it in, so the Great and Wonderful, you get a page that says, "Click here to see why we dig this film." They're really high on it, you know. So the film has gotten just great press all along. So we're using it to get to the Midwest and as much all over the country as we can.
That's wonderful, and I have heard it mentioned in the same breath as Oliver Stone's 9/11 film, so it's got legs.
We're definitely trying to play off of that because that's a very different kind of film. It's as we did with United 93. This film is really about rebuilding and healing, and it's very subtle film. Danny really showed a very different side to his body of work when you think this is the same man who made Dude, Where's My Car? Very subtle, very sophisticated film, and it's really the anti-United 93, if you will. And we're sort of using that to sell the film, position it.
Great. And speaking of, now you do have some big names under your belt. He mentioned Dude, Where's My Car? And a lot of people know you from Harold and Kumar. You could have gone big budget, you could have gone huge, but you went indie on this. What was your choice in that?
You know, I like to mix it up. I was just telling Gary earlier, you know, it's like I like to do different stuff. It's fun to do bigger movies with bigger budgets, but there's a lot of freedom when you do independent movies, and you know.
It's a picture deal, by the way. When we were just sitting here for 2 smaller films.
I witnessed history.
Right after this.
We haven't signed the contract yet, but you know, I like to mix it up. I like to do big and small movies, and you know, this was an opportunity. I just wanted to make this movie, this thing I developed with my own company, and you know, we ended up getting it financed by Serenade Films, and it was not a lot of money, but they gave us the opportunity to make the movie, and so really, that's what it comes down to. You know, I like filmmaking. I like doing different stuff. So depending where I get the money from, or what the kind of project is, you know, I'm always looking to just do interesting projects.
And here's a little bit of a personal question on this movie, because it was sort of, you know, this vignette and a lot of different stories coming together. Kind of remind me of Love Actually, another beautiful indie classic, kind of. All of the storylines going on, was there one that was really personal, really stuck out with you?
You know, it's really tough. I've answered this question before, and my usual answer is like, well, I like this one. Like I like Nasirudin, you know, because that one does have a soft spot, you know, in my heart. Avi and Satish, it's like a fun story of these 2 immigrants. But I also each story has an elements and things that I love about it, you know. So I could go list all 5 of them, but I won't, because that's what I usually do. And I like this one, you know.
I think tonight Nasirudin is our favorite.
Yeah, well, you know, it is a cool movie. Truthfully, it's one that I have a deep affection for, because I like those characters. You know, you have a guy who's silent, and you have this guy who just talks all the time, and is really funny. And, you know, for me, he embodies New York more than anyone in the whole movie, and he loves New York more than anyone in the movie. And he's just a really fun character in that way. And so that was a fun story for me.
Okay, great. Well, congratulations to both. This is a fantastic movie, and I know the audience just absolutely ate it up, and looking forward to seeing it on more screens, and, of course, the DVD release.
The DVD is actually going to be September 12th, time to meet with the 9/11 5-year anniversary. But there's a lot of theatrical play left in this film, and it'll be in a lot of theaters between now and then.
Great. Thank you very much.